Hello, everybody. Welcome to Scaredy Cast. I'm your host, Aaron.
And I'm also your host, Caitlin.
And today we're going to be looking at House of Wax 2005.
The greatest horror movie of all time.
So this movie fucking sucks.
It doesn't suck that bad.
I hate this fucking movie. We've talked about it briefly, but I fucking hate this movie.
I like this movie.
Go fuck yourself. Alright, so today, I guess we'll give our spoiler-free little bit of the review. I mean, this movie's been out for 16 years.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Because I remember seeing it when I was, little.
Yeah.
So, that's weird.
It is weird. A lot of weird stuff happens in horror. Especially this fucking movie. Okay. Spoiler-free review, go. In my opinion, and we're going to argue about this, so just watch the movie. It's going to be a waste of your life, I promise.
No,
This movie's 2 hours long, and it doesn't need to be.
It's not quite 2 hours.
It is 1 hour and 52 minutes long.
It's not 2 hours.
Oh my fuck.
Okay.
This movie, okay, at least common ground, the movie does not need to be as long as it is.
I guess not, no.
Okay. In my opinion, the acting is pretty mid. There's some weak performances for sure. Nothing really stands out. Jared Padalecki's in this movie. I don't know. It's got a good score. The end's pretty okay, but not like... fuck. How do I hate this movie. Don't watch this movie.
So let me give you my spoil-free review. I liked it. Was it the greatest horror movie of all time? No. But I didn't hate it like Aaron does. The score was great. The acting wasn't perfect, but I didn't have a problem with it. The plot, I liked it. Didn't have a problem with it. Sir. And overall, I think it's a pretty good movie for the year it came out. It came out in 2005, so I enjoyed it.
Good for you. I did not. There were 2 times during this movie that I was like, I can't wait for this to fucking end. I think I wrote in my notes, when does this movie fucking end? We'll get to it later. But yeah, so that's spoiler free. I feel like this is either going to be a movie that you're going to love or hate. I can see the appeal of this movie. As always, I recommend that you watch the movie beforehand. But for this one, even if you don't feel like watching this movie, this is going to be a fun podcast.
So we're just getting straight into the movie?
I fucking guess.
Alright, so this is the spoiler zone, even though this movie came out in 2005. And I don't think it's one of the more popular movies. So we open up with a shot of wax melting on a stove, and the year is 1974.
Ooh.
Basically, we get a bottom shot of a mom or something, and we also get a shot of a kid sitting in a high chair eating some Cheerios, or might have been Fruit Loops. I don't know. It's not really important. And then the lady that had the wax on the stove is putting it into a mask, which is weird, because why would she be doing that? And then we get this fucking disrespectful little toddler kid.
This is my sister's growing up. This is, I got PTSD.
So this is really rowdy kid. He's being carried in by his father, I'm assuming, and they strap him to his little breakfast chair, hands, legs, holding him down, duct taping him, and the whole time the dad's why can't you be more like your brother? And the kid scratches the fuck out of his mom's hand, makes her bleed. I would beat that kid. No, I wouldn't.
I would beat that kid live on the podcast.
No, but he's being really disrespectful and rowdy.
Yeah. I wrote 2 notes. My first note is ew, because this movie looks gross. At some points, this movie just looks gross. Not in a mean way, but aesthetically, the wax and shit melting in the at the beginning. All right, the movie opens.
Yeah, we fast forward to the present day in a diner.
And fucking... Do you have the characters' names?
Yes, I do.
Okay, because Guys, I didn't give a shit. I don't know any of the characters' names. I know one. I know Wade. It's Jared's character.
Okay, so we open up with Carly, played by Elisha Cuthbert, something like that. And Paige, played by Paris Hilton.
Paris motherfucking Hilton is in this movie. So they're like sitting down, they're talking about some fucking stupid shit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really pay attention to what they were talking about. Something about moving to New York.
Yeah, I think they're going to college or something. It doesn't fucking matter. None of these characters fucking matter. Except my favorite character who comes in and it's fucking...
Wade.
Yeah, well, Wade, but Wade is the boyfriend of... Carly. Okay, I'm going to try my best to remember that. So Wade is Carly's boyfriend. He's played by Jared Padalecki. I have in my notes Jared Padalecki, all in capital letters. I was so excited to see my boy. If you watch Supernatural, you already know what's up. I fucking love that show. I love him as an actor. And, really excited to see him here. He's like one of the only things I really liked about this movie. Even though I kind of hated him too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So basically the whole gist of this first scene is we have a group of kids. They consist of Carly, Nick, which is Carly's brother, Paige, which is like Carly's friend, Wade, which is Carly's boyfriend, Blake, which is Paige's boyfriend, and Dalton, which is like that random kid that just kind of gets brought along. He's friends with Nick, Carly's brother, whatever. The gist is all these kids are going on a road trip to go to like the biggest football game of the year. That is like the opening. That's all you really need from the opening.
Fucking, they're driving to go to this football game, and the fucking Carly's brother and the fucking weirdo who has a camera, fucking cameraman Dan Dalton, not even close. I'm gonna refer to him as weirdo.
Okay.
Fucking. So Carly's brother and then the weirdo are like in the back seat of Jared Padalecki's really nice fucking car.
Really nice.
And they're sitting there and they're like making fun of him for having a nice car, and then they're also making fun of him for being hot.
Yeah.
That's fire. I can respect it. I don't like the line, and see, this is like where the acting doesn't do it for me. I thought it was, this movie feels very 2005. So if that's your,
it came out, so
yeah, if it fits your if that's your aesthetic, then you know. But this movie, yeah, the acting isn't all there. But yeah, they're making fun of him, and then they're like trying to get to a hotel maybe, or a place to like stop.
Well, they like Blake, Paige's boyfriend, he was one of the drivers because they took two cars. He was like, oh, I found like a shortcut that'll get us there faster, and then they go down that shortcut and it's blocked off, so they have to like take a detour.
Yeah, they take a detour. They wind up camping out in the middle of the woods. On the way there, this dude's getting roadhead from Paris Hilton.
Yeah.
Which is fire. But then he gets fucking cock-blocked. What asshole does that?
Yeah, so he's like in his car getting fucking roadhead, and then...
Just chilling.
Yeah, and then, fucking, what's his name? Jared... How do you say his last name?
Padalecki?
Yeah, that dude. They pull up in the car next to him, and there's Paris Hilton giving this dude roadhead, and they totally cock-block him.
They fucking honk the horn and everything, and she's like, oh, I dropped my lip balm.
My lip balm.
Oh, fuck.
Classic excuse.
What a bunch of asshole characters. I don't like the characters in the movie.
Make a weird turn. They're kind of in the middle of nowhere, and they decide to, like, pull off on the side of the road to go to sleep or whatever, to, like, basically camp for the night.
Yeah.
And this is where we find out that the brother, Wade, has, like, some serious sister with his beef. Has serious beef with his sister, Carly, and we find out it's because like he got arrested or something for stealing a car, and she dimed him out to the cops, pretty much.
Yeah, so Carly and her brother have, like, this kind of, like, back and forth, and they don't like each other. But it's just, like, a misunderstanding or whatever. Also, at some point, they mentioned that fucking Paris Hilton's character is pregnant.
Yeah.
And that doesn't ever amount to anything.
No.
I feel like a lot of shit just kind of gets thrown out. Like, the college shit and then this shit, they're just like, care about our characters. Yeah. Here's things.
Yeah. Oh, Carly and her brother are twins, by the way.
Yes.
That gets mentioned.
Yes. So yeah, they're stopping. They're near. They see the sign for the wax museum, so you know that, like, you're in the right movie. Because you wouldn't think so, because we don't get to see the fucking wax museum until like 40 minutes in.
Well, they have to build up to it.
40 fucking minutes. That's the first act.
40 minutes. That gives you character development.
And it doesn't matter. None of it matters. This movie sucks.
Okay, so they pop a squat in the middle of the woods, and they're drinking beers, like, throwing football back and forth, and this is kind of where you see, like, the douchebaggy side of Carly's brother, where, like, Jared's character throws a football, and it lands at her brother's feet, and he refuses to throw the football to him, and, like, ends up, like, throwing it way too hard at Paige's boyfriend, blah, 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 so they kind of have, like, this little scene. Nothing really much to it. The camcorder weirdo dude's going around filming everybody like a creep. And then, like, the next big thing that happens is, like, they get, like, a huge gust of wind, and it sends, like, a really gross smell to, like, their little campsite area.
Yeah. And then they're like, ooh, we should check it out. But then they don't bother to check it out because it's the middle of the night. That's, like, the one fucking smart thing they do in this movie. But then a car pulls up, and the lights are on, and they're getting fucking... They can't, like, see because the brights are on or whatever.
Yeah.
And so Carly's asshole brother's response to this is just to throw a fucking beer bottle at this dude's headlights.
Yeah. We don't see the dude that's driving. The most we see is, like, his arm hanging out the window. And, the truck just sits there and then drives off after he gets his headlight smashed. So that kind of ends, like... that scene for the most part. I mean, there's, like, the two couples sitting there kissing or whatever, and then, like, that's it.
There's so much making it. There's so much softcore porn in this. It's such 2005.
So then they wake up, and the creepo dude notices that his camera's missing. Nobody can find it. Granted, nobody's really looking for it.
No one gives a fuck.
Yeah, nobody cares.
No one gives a shit about this guy.
Well, they didn't like that he was, like, going around filming them either, so they're like, oh well. So they're packing up and they're running late because they overslept and they need to get on the road for the football game. And the wind blows again and it sends that gross smell back. And the two girls are, like, out in the woods, I guess peeing. I don't know what they were doing in the woods.
Yeah, it should be.
Okay, and the wind blows, the gross smell comes back, and they go to investigate the gross smell. And our main character, Carly, falls into a pit of gross, rotting, dead animals.
Ooh, a lot of meat. I said, ew, animals, and a hand. There's a hand.
Yeah, there's a human hand inside.
Yeah. Also, a little bit before, when they wake up, they find that Jared Padalecki's car is, like, fucking totaled in the sense of, like, there's, like, it's not a timing belt, but it's like a...
It's the fan belt.
It's the MacGuffin of this movie. Oh, I bit my tongue. Fuck. His car can't go anywhere, so they're down to one car this movie. There's this guy who comes out. He's, like, looking at the guy, or he's looking at the fucking girl who's, like, sitting there in the fucking pile of meat, and he's just throwing more shit in there.
Yeah, so it's like this dude that's got, like, a beat up truck, like, really gross truck. He's got some roadkill that looks like in the back of it. And while this chick is, like, struggling to, like, she's in this gross pit, he just throws more roadkill in the pit. And then they're like, oh, like, do you not see that? And they point to the hand, and he pulls it out, and it's a prosthetic hand.
Yeah,
it's
so,
not
like,
a real hand.
Not a real hand, ooh. But yeah, this dude's perverted, too.
Yeah.
We get a scene where, like, cause she's covered in, like, blood and shit, and she's, like, using her shirt to wipe off. She goes to change... and she's got a bra on, but fucking dude's the creepy guy with the truck. This is not the same truck, by the way.
Yeah.
This is a different guy. But this dude who's throwing the roadkill is like trying to like look at her, even though Jared's character, fucking the brother, and like another, like I think Paris's character too, they were all standing like trying to block him from seeing her.
Yeah.
But he just kept like looking.
Yeah.
He was trying to get a piece of Kylie.
Carly and her boyfriend Wade. Oh no, just kidding. Yeah, no, Wade. His name's Wade. They decide to ride with the roadkill dude to go to this town that he knows of to get a belt for his car. They're basically going to try to fix the car belt and get to the game a little bit later than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So they get in the car, they get in this truck with the perverted dude.
Yeah. And fucking, what a piece of shit boyfriend. Like, he doesn't even sit in between the weird guy and his girlfriend. He, like, puts his girlfriend in the middle of them, so he's...
Yeah, because it's like a bench seat.
Yeah, it's no back seat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so fucking... at one point, the crazy guy pulls out a knife, and he, like, puts it on the dash, and it scares the fuck out of them, and they, like, get spooked, so they run off and make it to the town, and they're like, oh, we feel like assholes because he was telling the truth, so never judge a book by its cover.
The rest of our kids are stuck in traffic, so they decide to just turn around because they're already going to miss the game and basically head back to where they were camping. And then our main couple, Carly and Wade, they go to the gas station. There's nobody in the gas station. There's nobody, like, out on the streets. But they do see, like, this lady pull back her curtains and, like, look at them. So it's not, like, fully abandoned.
Yeah. And I also thought it was cool to note that, like, this town has service.
Yeah.
It's not like it fucking... They didn't completely fuck over everything in this movie. They made some of it realistic. I appreciate that the town still has service, even though it's like a ghost town. But yeah. So they're like walking around trying to get this fucking thing for their car, the the femboy. They're trying to put a femboy in their car. And fucking they can't find anybody. So they go into the church to ask for help. And they're in the middle of a funeral.
Yeah. They walk into a church full of people that are there for a funeral. And everybody kind of just, like, the priest is sitting there staring at them. And then, like, the dude that was, like, sitting at the casket is, like, staring at them or whatever.
Yeah, so they feel hella awkward. They hop out of the church. And then the guy who was originally kneeling at the coffin comes out. And he's the mechanic of this town. And fucking, he's pissed about them. He's like, fuck you for walking in on my funeral.
Yeah.
And, you know, he literally goes back inside and then comes right back out. And he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Here, let me fix that for you. I'll be ready for you in about 45 minutes. Just wait in the gas station. And he, like, smiles at Jared Padalecki, Wade's girlfriend. And fucking Jared is like... It's like his character does a complete 180 here.
Yeah.
Because he goes from being like this really sweet boyfriend to like... He makes the comment, he's like... The only reason that like he came back is because he thinks you're hot or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
he says like
super jealous.
Yeah, he's like your fan base is growing or something like that.
Yeah, some like really fucking bio shit. Like, what a fucking loser.
Yeah. So while they're waiting, they go to the House of Wax that we saw advertised like earlier on a sign while they're driving down the road.
45 minutes in.
Yeah. The house is, they discovered like the whole house is literally like made out of wax because they're like sitting there on the outside and they start like picking at it and it's made out of wax. And then fucking Wade, oh my god, disrespectful little shit. The door has a close sign on it, and he just pushes it open and goes in anyways.
But we know somebody's working in there because we get like shots of somebody like working and they can hear him from above, kind of like trying to get in.
Yeah.
Ignoring the close sign. And yeah, I literally put in my note here, Why did this couple just randomly turn into a bunch of fucking assholes?
I don't know.
Because it was like they were completely regular ass motherfucking people.
Yeah.
And then halfway through the movie, they just, we're gonna go look through everybody's shit now, and we're gonna go like fuck around in this town that we don't know anything about, and like,
yeah,
fucking like that. It's like as soon as they leave the funeral, or as soon as they get there,
yeah,
they just fucking, something happens.
But they're walking around this house, like, House of Wax, like a wax museum, kind of. And they're walking around, looking at everything. We get, like, a nice little jump scare, because Wade's sitting there, he's like, oh, everything looks so realistic. And then there's, like, a dog sitting there, and he's like, yo, look at this dog statue. But it's a real dog, so it, like, moves and spooks him. It's like a small little jump scare. The thing to note is the chairs from the beginning, where we see the kid gets like strapped down into. These chairs are in the wax house.
So we're to assume that the family from the opening, this is their house.
Yeah.
And it's completely waxified. And they, she claims to see somebody, but it really doesn't amount to anything.
Yeah.
They knock over one wax figure, but like it's just a wax figure, nothing happens. And then they leave to go to the gas station where they were supposed to originally be at. But Wade doesn't give a fuck, so he's like going in there and he's like just taking shit. They're just fucking in there grabbing shit. And to be fair, he did leave money on the counter, but it wasn't even enough.
It wasn't enough, and the dude didn't have the right size belt that he needed.
Yeah, so the mechanic's like, oh, well, I got 14s and 16s, but if you want 15, you're gonna come back to my place. I'll show you my belt in my place. And they're like, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. This is not weird at all. So they hop in his truck and they go up to his house. Carly's brother and fucking the weirdo guy with the camera, I can't remember his name. They are going to head into town while the other couple stays back the fuck. You're gonna have to help guide me, because my next note is literally just, can the couple fucking stop? Oh, because fucking, okay, we're back. I know, it's a lot of jumping, but we're back at the fucking, mechanic's house, and she's fucking around in his truck while he's inside. The mechanic is upstairs doing something. Fucking Carly's inside the truck fucking around with his shit. And then fucking Jared Padalecki's character is in the bathroom, but then he leaves the bathroom and he starts fucking around with the mechanic's shit in his house. And it's like, at what point are you gonna fucking stop touching shit that doesn't belong to you? That shit pisses me off.
Looking through shit that, like, it's not his. I agree with that problem. Like, he was snooping, and he didn't need to be.
That's all those characters fucking do. They snoop. Fucking Snoopy type beat. Swear to God. Okay, so fucking Carly's still fucking around outside, and then she steps outside the truck, and she's like, oh shit, that headlight's busted. Oh wow. Oh, who would have thought the mechanic was actually the guy who was watching them earlier, and his headlights were on him, and her brother fucked up his truck, so he's gonna be the evil guy. Ha ha ha, who would have thought? Fucking, I'm gonna give the movie some credit here. We find out this twist little villain guy that isn't really a twist or whatever the fuck, and Jared Padalecki is sneaking around the house, and then from the fucking floorboards pops this motherfucking weird looking guy, and he takes some scissors and he clips Jared Padalecki's motherfucking tendons.
Yeah, he like cuts his Achilles.
Achilles tendon, hail fucking shit, and I hate that. If you've ever watched Pet Sematary, it's like that scene where the fucking little girl fucking stabs the old dude in the foot. It's not fun. It's not fun.
Yeah.
The lights are off. He's trying to fight, but somehow this fucking person he's fighting has perfect night vision and can fucking see. And he fucks up Jared Padalecki.
Yeah, so he gets, like, stabbed and, basically...
Incapacitated,
yeah. And, basically, after that, his girlfriend, Carly, is, like, running through... She's running through the town because, like, at this point, she knows, like, no?
Nah. So the mechanic, after he gets his shit clipped and he gets incapacitated, the mechanic comes outside and Carly kind of, like, confronts him and she's like, "You're the guy." And he's "Oh, fuck." And the reason I know that is literally because my next note is Grand Theft, nah, bro. Because she fucking tries to steal this dude's truck and it gets fucking stuck. And she tries to call the Paris character and then the fucking other dude, her boyfriend, and they're fucking, so they don't answer the phone.
Yeah.
And so it's just this fucking shit. And then fucking Carly runs away into the town, like you said.
Yeah.
And she is like gonna go get help or whatever. But we get this really stupid fucking shot. And it's like the cameraman guy and her brother, Carly's brother, and they're outside the town where the original truck driver took the couple to. They took Jared Padalecki and Carly to. And the guy's like, "Do you think I'd ever have a shot with Carly?" And the brother's like, "Nah, I actually kind of like Wade."
Yeah.
And the cameraman guy's like, "I like Wade too." And then Wade's getting fucking waxed alive as this is happening. And I just thought that shit was kind of funny. Because it's like him getting his body dragged across the I like Wade too. Dragging Wade across the floor.
Yeah, so after that little scene, we cut to the person that stabbed Wade is now stitching, like, where she cut him, or he cut him. It looks like a female, honestly, but whatever. Stitching and cleaning him, and then the person that stabbed him is, like, putting the stuff on his face, and we're like, "Oh, what's that?" And it ends up, like, waxing his, like, face, like, all of his eyebrows, his eyelashes, facial hair, and all that. And yeah, she, like, or the fucking evil character or whatever injects Jared's character to where he's paralyzed and, like, can't move.
This dude's alive and being waxed. He's a wax figure, but alive on the inside.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we cut back to Carly. Carly's running throughout the town and what the fuck ever, and she is running. She goes into the church, and then she fucking, like, smacks somebody or something, and then fucking... Oh, what's that? They're made of wax. They're not real people. Everybody that was in the church is actually not real. They're all wax figures. And I put here the Wax Town. It's pretty cool. I really like the set. I'll give that compliment. I like the town. I like the premise. I like seeing wax people underneath wax figures. And I also like, too, that they added, like, for each kind of, like, character that you wind up breaking open, because a lot of people get fucking shit on in this movie, like the corpses do. You get to see how fresh some of them are. Some of them are, like, actual fucking skeletons, and then some of them are, like, relatively new, so you get to see kind of, like, you know, they didn't all happen at once. It's been over the course of, like, several years. Pretty neat.
Yeah, so to sum that up, everybody in the town, it was a person that got covered in hot boiled wax, like Jared's character.
Except the one character she knocked over at the beginning.
Yeah, the one character they knocked over in the wax museum was an actual wax statue.
Cool.
Wasn't a corpse covered in wax.
On the convenient. The guy gets caught up to Carly, and he drags her into the basement of the garage.
Yeah, so she gets caught...
Or the gas station, sorry.
She gets caught by the mechanic dude. His name is Bo, by the way. She gets caught by Bo, and he tapes her to a chair. And while he's taping her to a chair, you can see, like, his wrists are, like, scarred. So basically, he was the kid that was getting taped down to the chair at the beginning of the movie. So he tapes her down to the chair like he was as a child, basically. And then he, like, super glues her mouth shut to where she can't scream. Because at this point, her brother and the weird camcorder dude, they've finally like made it into the town, and
they split up.
They split up, and her brother is at the garage, and they can hear him like walking around because they're like at a basement level and like they're under whatever. They know that he's outside, so that's why he like super glues her mouth shut to where she can't scream, leaves her taped to the chair, and then the mechanic, Bo, goes to talk to her brother.
Yes. Also, real quick, if y'all guys are lost during this movie, I'm going to catch you up a little bit just so we kind of know where every character is, because every character is fucking doing something that is either not important or, you know, they're just kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Jared Padalecki's character, Wade, is currently waxified in a museum. Still alive. Cameraman guy is off looking for sister. The guy's sister.
Yeah.
The mechanic is upstairs of the gas station talking to her brother.
Yes.
She is in the basement, super glued. And Paris Hilton and her boyfriend are still at the campsite fucking.
Yes.
Okay. So, now that we all know where everybody is, because this movie just fucking loves to jump and shit.
That is true. This movie does like a lot of cuts where
you have to be paying attention.
Yeah, this character's one place and the next thing you know they're at the other.
Yeah. So, fucking, yeah. They're talking up top, and the sister Carly is kind of like trying to reach out from like a grate and like get her brother's attention, and what happens is the mechanic notices her fingers are coming out the grate, so he just walks over and fucking clips one of her fingertips off, and she starts bleeding, and it's just so gory for no fucking reason. But like, she doesn't fucking try to open her mouth from the super glue until she loses her finger. And then the next thing she does is open her mouth from super glue and call out for help. So she just lost the tip of her finger for no fucking reason. The logic this movie has.
But like the gore was good. Like the finger getting cut off looked good. And her like pulling her lips apart from the super glue and then bleeding a little bit looked good. Yeah, she gets her lips separated. She calls out for her brother. Her brother like starts fighting the mechanic. And basically gets himself into like the little gas station area and gets himself like locked in there to where he can go downstairs and save his sister.
And he rescues her, and that's that.
Yes.
My next note: this movie sucks, dude. Because we
it
walk.
Does not suck.
Wait, no. This sucks. We have cameraman Jones, motherfucker, walking up to the wax museum.
Yes.
To look for Carly.
Yes.
And he walks in, and he sees Wade sitting in a chair.
He's sitting in front of a piano because he played the piano the first time he was in the House of Wax.
Yes, he's sitting in the piano chair.
Yes.
And he walks up to Wade, and he's like, huh, this is Wade. He starts picking at Wade's face.
No, he pokes Wade. Because he like pokes him in the face, and obviously the wax is still hot, and it left like an indent on his face. And he like pulls his finger back.
Yes, but he starts picking at Wade's face. For no fucking reason, this dude starts clawing at Wade's face, removing his skin because his skin is hot and melted to the wax.
Yes.
You can see Wade, Jared Padalecki's character, crying because he feels all of this shit. This is why this movie fucking sucks.
That was such a good scene, though.
It is a good scene, but if you're that cameraman and you see that your friend is clearly like flesh under there, why are you aggressively doing it? Because he doesn't stop until the fucking long-haired guy comes in and goes to swing a machete at him. And the machete misses, and it cuts Jared Padalecki's fucking face off. And he's still alive.
Yeah, because like after he gets his face cut off, his like eyes roll.
Yes.
Because like he can move his eyes and stuff.
Yes. He is in pain. He feels all of this shit. It is a good scene in the sense of it is very gory. It is very unsettling. It is very disgusting. It is very mean. But why?
Okay, so...
Justify it.
Okay. So he's looking at his friend, and from far away, he's like, hey, dude, wait, what's up? And then he gets closer, realizes that, like, he's obviously, like, got some wax on him. And he's like, he can move his eyes, and, like, his eyes look real, so, like, he knows. And he goes to poke him in the face, and the hot wax, you know, goes inside. Maybe he doesn't know that if he goes to pull on the skin, or, like, on the wax, that the skin is going to go with it. So I could understand... Listen. I could understand why he would go to scrape it off the one time, and then he sees the flesh under it. That's when he should have stopped. So I think that first one wasn't, like, justified, but, like, I don't have a problem with it. Because, like, who
Sure.
Okay. Him continuing to do it, I think... They were trying to make it to where, like, the character was, like, freaked out and he, like, scared himself. And he's like, oh, no, if I keep pulling, like, it won't be like this all the way under. Like, whatever. That was stupid. Okay, I agree. I agree that it was stupid. But I could see how that would happen. I could see him, like, panicking himself because he already ripped off some of his flesh. And then, like, just, like, keeping going because he's like... oh, well, maybe I can get to a spot where his flesh doesn't come off. It made for a great scene, though. The gore was great. It was very unsettling. It was very uncomfortable. Like, and then when the long-haired dude goes to swing and he hits Jared's face and, like, the flesh comes off and you see his teeth, like, it was great.
Yes.
You cannot tell me that scene was not great.
It was. I hate this movie because it takes my favorite fucking character and it fucking kills him like that. He didn't deserve that.
Okay, he kind of did though.
Yeah, he did.
He did. He was sitting there, he got himself into situations that didn't have to happen. He was sitting there snooping through the house of wax even though it said they were closed. He was snooping through the dude's house. Because he wouldn't have gotten his Achilles fucking tendon cut if he wasn't in that room. And he wasn't supposed to be in that room. He was supposed to be in the bathroom.
Okay, Wade deserved it. Jared Padalecki deserves better.
Fine.
So the guy's chasing cameraman downstairs. Cameraman falls downstairs. And we get a really nice shot of... the killer, instead of having the machete, because he drops it at some fucking point for whatever reason, he picks up garden shears, and then he takes it, and you see, like, a POV shot of... well, not, like, POV, but you see, like, where the cameraman falls on the ground, and the camera would be, like, right here, and the killer's, like, towering over him here. I'm really trying my best. If you're listening to the audio version, you're not going to know what's going on. I'm sorry. But... so the killer's, like, standing over him. He puts garden shears down.
They're not garden shears. They're the cool little knives that he has.
I thought they were garden shears.
No.
I thought they were, like, long, like, the hedge trimmers.
No, there was no hedge trimmers.
Oh, I'm tripping then. But, like, he puts the knives down, and fucking, you hear, like a type deal. And you see a body getting dragged off, but there's no head, and then, like, the camera pans, and it's cameraman's head, and he's still kind of twitching.
His eyes are, like, moving.
It's pretty good.
Yes.
I will say, I put decapitation check mark.
That was a good scene. That was good gore.
Yes.
I thought it was cool, too, because, and this is the reason I know it wasn't garden shears. There were, like, two little knives that the killer had, and he put them in an X to, like, decapitate the dude, right? And that little still shot before he pulls the body away, like, one handle of the knife is, like, a dragon head, and the other half is, like, the rest of the body of the dragon, and the way he put the knives in an X, it made, like, head and dragon. It made like a dragon. I noticed it. It was a small detail. It's fine. Whatever.
That's pretty cool. I will give the movie credit for that.
And then my next note is the other couple are getting ready for sexy time.
My next note is this dude cares about music a lot.
Yeah.
So they're getting ready to fuck. We're back to the Paris Hilton and her boyfriend. They were still fucking camping. So yeah, they're out in the middle of the fucking woods. And, you know, we gotta kill these characters because they're not doing anything, apparently. Fucking, the music's playing, he's about to get his fuck on, and then the music cuts off. And you're like, ooh, that's spooky. And then he goes outside, he turns the music back on, and he's like, oh, I have a missed call. Oh, it's from Carly. Oh, they're in danger. And then he doesn't go back to the tent for his girlfriend, and his girlfriend walks out after like some time because she's like, where the fuck are you? And fucking long-haired killer is there chasing her, and she goes to run away, and she like trips, and fucking her boyfriend has a knife in his neck, but he's not dead. He's laying there twitching. My note here is this movie is mean. And I can actually show this one for the camera because it is like super dark. It's this one right here. This movie is fucking mean. Because as she's running away and the long-haired killer is chasing her, he fucking steps on the knife that's in this dude's neck. He just like fucking curb stomps the knife. Just to like further fuck this guy. Because he's like...
I mean, he was gonna die
He puts him out of his misery. But he curb stomps the knife. And it's fucking...
Yeah. So then we get this chase scene of Paris Hilton's character. She's running away from the long-haired killer, and she runs into like basically like I called it the wax warehouse. It's basically like the underground of the House of Wax or whatever. It's like a warehouse. Like there was like clothes and like...
Yeah, there's like a nearby warehouse.
Yeah, like clothes and old cars and stuff like that. It looks like a warehouse factory type deal. She runs in there and she tries to hide from this killer dude.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, isn't this where they hide the evidence and shit from like all the people that have gone
Yeah,
so
there's
like
a shit ton
there's
of
a lot
clothes.
of cars, there's a lot of clothes, there's cell phones, there's a box of cell phones.
Yeah, and
so,
she does the smart thing because she finds like the box of cell phones and she tries to like find a working one, and they're not all working, but like she looks.
My next note is stop with the fucking feet stuff because they keep constantly doing feet gore in this movie and I hate it. She's walking on like a platform in like the warehouse or whatever, and there's like holes. It's like, what is it like?
It's like a grate. Almost.
It's like a grate, but it's like a platform, and there's like holes, and this fucking dude is like taking like a fucking rod or a knife or some shit, and like fucking poking her from below. It's fucking gross.
Yeah, he like stabs her in the foot, and she falls over onto like this grate, and he's like sitting there trying to stab her through these holes in the grate.
Keep in mind, because I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna get real fucking mad here. She's bleeding. And she's gonna leave a trail of blood. Keep in mind that one note. Okay? Okay. My next fucking note says, if hiding doesn't work, just keep fucking trying. This character hides 3 times in the warehouse and gets caught all 3 times.
Yeah. So, she's like running through, trying to hide, doesn't work out, and at one point she gets like this basically like steel rod type deal. It's kind of like sharp on one end, and she climbs into one of the cars and she tries to like hide in the back seat. So she's all like tucked in with this little rod ready to go, and of course the long-haired dude finds her, and she goes to like hit him in the face with it. And that's when we learn that, like, because this is, like, the first, like, close-up of his face that we get. And it takes, like, a chunk out of his face, but it's wax. So he has, like, a wax mask on, basically.
Yes. He's got a wax mask on, and fucking the whole purpose of these dudes is to like take the bodies and like waxify them and like put them in the museum, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Fucking, I put that's gotta be a lot of work, or that's gonna be a lot of work because he takes the fucking javelin from her, or not a javelin, but he takes the fucking pole from her. And then he fucking gets it through her head, and she slides on it, and that's pretty alright.
Yeah, well, like, okay, it's one of those scenarios where she's still trying to hide after, because, like, she stabs him in the face with it, and then leaves it, and just runs away again. And she's, like, hiding, like, not underneath the car, but, like, she's looking under the car to see if she can see, like, his feet or whatever. And she gets up, and there's the long-haired dude with the pole that she stabbed him with, and he just, like, throws it, and it just javelins straight through her head, and then she, like, slides down on it.
Yep.
I thought it was unrealistic, but cool.
Like I said, I did not have a problem with the kill. I had a problem with the acting, and I had a problem with the directing, because why is your character hiding 3 times?
Yeah, but then we find out that the long-haired dude was the one that had, what's his name? Dalton, the random dude, the camera dude.
Yes.
We found out that the long-haired dude had his camcorder because he goes up and he, like, films her, like, head being stuck on the javelin.
Yes. I don't know, man. This movie's 2 hours long, almost. For no reason. Like, a lot of this just could have been cut.
I guess so.
I guess we'll talk more about it whenever we get done. But, yeah, what happens next? It's, because as of now, and this is a problem I've had, that's the end of Act 2. The second act of the film.
Yeah.
We're in the end game now. And every single character has died. Except for the sister and the brother.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we killing off all the main characters in Act 2? There's no stakes in Act 3. Because you know
Yeah.
they're going to walk away. Or maybe the brother dies, but that's it. So for the next, 40 minutes of runtime, there are no stakes. That is a problem I have with this movie. This movie could have been super shorter. This movie could have been 80 minutes, 90 minutes.
I think... So, I'll tell you why I think that they kept the brother and the sister for the last act and killed everybody off. But we're not quite there yet. Bo is still chasing the brother and the sister. And at one point, they, break into this store, and her brother finds, a crossbow from, a hunting store, and they get that, and then they run into a movie theater full of, wax people, and, a movie starts playing, and Bo obviously is gonna go straight into the movie theater, because he just knows that they're there, and he's got a shotgun with him.
And he cannot aim.
He cannot aim. But basically they try the whole thing where okay, well, this movie theater on the inside is dark, so it's kind of hard to see, and we're basically the sister acts like a wax person in there, so she's sitting in there just trying to stay as still as possible while Bo is going through the theater, and the movie kind of shows that they know kind of how many people should be there, because Bo's sitting there going through the movie theater, and he's it looks like he's counting the amount of people that are in each row, so he can see where the extra person is.
But he doesn't know. That's the other thing. We learned that this has been going on for 10 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fucking... How can 2 people get this many people in the fucking theater? How many bodies have these guys... Because you had to count, right? 60?
It's 60-something, yeah.
They killed 60-something motherfucking people over the course of 10 years.
Yeah.
That is a lot of motherfucking bodies. That's 6 people a year, at least.
That's not that bad.
2 people. Sometimes 3. Spoiler alert, there's a third brother. Who gives a shit? It's like a twist at the end of the movie that doesn't amount to anything ever. I can't be fucking bothered. But I don't know, man. And that's if they're spaced out that way. If it's exactly 6. How many people died in this movie? Jared Padalecki.
Mm-hmm.
Horny couple. That's 2.
And then the cameraman dude. Yeah.
Oh, convenient. If brother and sister would have died, that would have been another 6 for this year. Convenient.
Let's just get through the rest of the movie.
Okay,
Right.
But yeah, so I had a gripe with that. I also had a gripe with the fact that, like, if they've been doing this for 10 motherfucking years, how do you not know who's out of place? Especially when you've been hunting this person all night.
Yeah.
And you're super creepy and rapey, and you pay attention to detail like that. And then I also asked, what is your fucking goal here? Like, at what point do you just stop and say, hey, we got enough people. I get it, you're psychotic. But, like, 10 motherfucking years of doing the same shit all over again.
But, like, they fuel each other. Like, the brothers fuel each other.
What?
So, Bo gets to do, like, his weird, like, medical shit on the side because from where Jared's character, basically gets stabbed or whatever, we see he has, like, a lot of medical equipment and, like, all that. So he gets to do, like, his little experiments or whatever. He gets to kill people.
Yes.
And then the long-haired killer
is an artist.
And he gets to do his artistic skills on, like, the people by waxing them and then setting them up. So they feed off of each other. They both benefit off of each other.
10 years?
For 10 years, yeah. It's a 10-year-long, like, art installment. Basically, her brother was smart enough to count the shots of the shotgun because it was only 2 shots before you had to reload. So 1 shot, and then 2 shot, and then Bo busts out the theater doors, and there's her brother standing right there with the crossbow, not phased because he was counting the shots. Shoots the dude twice with, like, the crossbow, and basically injures and hopefully kills the dude.
Why is there still 30 minutes in this movie? That's my next note.
Okay.
I'm crying. Okay, I said the arrow gore is kind of nice because we get, they go to their fucking, rather than running away, they go to the killer's house.
They decide to get her phone from the truck because she left it in the truck from, like, that scene earlier. So they decide to go get her phone from the truck so that they can call for help because they are in the middle of nowhere in an abandoned town, so it'd be easier to do that. But her phone is not in the truck because I guess Bo got it out of the truck or whatever. So they have to go into the house.
They go in the house, they get exposition. Apparently the brothers were like fucking
Siamese
twins, and the dad fucking cut the one guy out of the other guy, and that's why his face is fucked up. And
yeah, because he was like so the brothers, like, you had Bo, who looks normal, and then I don't know, okay, Bo, normal, whatever, and then his brother, the long-haired killer, was connected to the back of Bo's head and, like, by the face. So obviously when they got separated, it fucked up his face. So that's why he wears a mask.
yeah.
You get that, like, little bit of information. So you find out that they're twins. And this is why I said that Carly and her brother was left, like, for Act 3, basically, by themselves, because it's twins versus twins.
It's a parallel.
It's twins versus twins.
Pew, pew, pew. Going through, Bo is picking arrows out of himself, which, arrow gore, pretty fire. He pulls, like, an arrow through his fucking arm, which is metal as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then he leaves an arrow in, but I'm not gonna bitch about it.
Well, it's because it was in his heart. Like, the arrow was, like, next to his heart. So he can't just pull it. Because he could seriously fuck up himself. He could, like, kill himself.
My other thing, though, is, like, I get that it's a cool shot, him pulling the arrow out, but we see him with the clippers, like, right after on the second arrow, and that's my other note. Why not clip both arrows? so the other one comes out easier instead of you're dragging the full fucking thing through.
Yeah,
and, like,
I didn't think about that. Aaron's next note is ... I hate this movie.
They're going through the underground. You cannot justify this.
No, I think
they are going through the underground of their fucking house, and they come into the basement because they're running away. They fucking come across a generator and a whole bunch of breakers.
Carly and her brother. It's Carly and her brother.
Yes. Carly and her brother are running away from the fucking evil guys, even though they, like, aren't 100% certain that they're there. They found, like, the note, so they know they've been through there, but, they don't know where they are. Fucking, they see a breaker, and this breaker is huge.
The breaker
this
box,
clearly controls the town. There is no way that there is enough electronics in the house to hold that much shit. So... in the funniest scene in any fucking horror movie I've ever seen in my goddamn life, they start flicking a bunch of random shit and just lighting up the town.
Yeah.
The brothers look outside the window and they just fucking... doesn't Bo laugh?
I think so.
I swear to God, Bo just laughs because he's like, they're fucking retards. We know they're in the basement. We know exactly where they are because they're fucking with a breaker.
Yeah.
All because they want more light in the tunnel.
Yeah,
they can see.
Oh my
they
God.
can fucking see.
They're trying to basically turn the basement lights on so they can see, and by doing that, they turn the fucking town into a rave by flashing lights and shit. I said, my note says they flicked the switches and it fucked them, gave their position away.
I fucking hate this movie. That's my note. They're going through. They finally fucking turn on the light of the goddamn basement, and they find fucking Weirdo, and he's strapped to a chair, same how Wade was at the beginning, except he's in the basement. He's not like fully on display yet, and fucking. They're like, remember how I got decapitated? I know that happened like fucking like 30 minutes ago or whatever. Fucking they go to like save him, and his head falls off. And they start fucking crying, but no one gave a shit about this guy except for the brother. Why the fuck is she crying?
Because it's still a person.
She thought he was weird.
So?
Crying for a weirdo.
I think you're weird and I would cry for you.
Oh God, I'm getting a fucking tumor in my brain. Okay, I'm pushing through the rest of this movie. Next note, sibling fight. Pew pew pew.
Oh my God.
They're fighting in the... They go up after they find Bo. Fucking... They go up in the fucking middle of that wax museum. They're at the ground level, and this is where we're gonna have our final fight.
You skipped a part. Like, the most important part. So, they're down in the basement, they find their friend, like, accidentally take off his head, whatever, and then... the evil brothers, of course, know where they're at because the whole light flipping thing or whatever. Basically, a fire starts in the basement. And, like, it's a really, really hot, high fire. Everything down in the basement is catching on fire. And...
wax is flammable.
Wax is flammable. So, when they get upstairs and they start to fight Bo, the house is melting.
So, originally, and this movie is fucking funny at this point. Originally, whenever the sibling, because it's a 2v1 right now, Bo's in the middle of the wax museum, and they're about to fight him. Originally, it's only her fucking brother who is, like, running at the guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, go fucking help your brother. And I'm like screaming, I'm like, fucking double team him. And the minute I go to write that down as a note, she goes to like finally go help after he's knocked on the ground. And she gets fucking laid out in the funniest way possible. She runs up like she's about to try something and he just fucking clocks her in the fucking face.
Good
She
Lord.
passes out. And my note literally says... Never mind, Lamau.
Oh
guys,
God.
it's not even like a fucking... It's so funny. I'm gonna put the fucking clip in here. The clip's going. Yo, so like the Blu-ray, I couldn't figure out how to make it work, so we're just using this. Sorry, there's no sound, but check this shit out. This shit's fucking funny. Pop! Oh my god, that shit is so fucking funny.
Oh
She
my
gets
God.
laid out, bro. Oh my god.
See, this movie did bring you some joy.
Oh my god, I can't. I'm not looking at my notebook for the rest of this shit. Let's fucking go.
Okay, so basically they fight with Vincent. She gets laid out, whatever. The brother gets stabbed in the leg, and he's like incapacitated, not able to help her, whatever. And she ends up like smashing Bo's face in
With a baseball
with
bat.
a baseball bat.
Pretty good gore.
Yes.
Um,
She goes upstairs. This is where I had a problem with the movie.
She
Instead
runs
of running
upstairs.
away or staying on the same level, she runs up the melting stairs. Didn't think that was a great idea. She basically runs upstairs and barricades herself into a room. And in this room, it's like it kind of was like remodeled to be, I guess, the evil twin brothers' like parents' room, because there's like a big bed and then like a crib in there with like two babies who are still attached or whatever, I think. I don't know. Anyway, she slides it in front of the door to where like the long-haired brother can't get in.
yeah. But he does.
Yeah, her brother comes upstairs and he's fighting the long-haired brother, and it looks like he's gonna lose long-haired and then Carly like pulls the knife that's still in her brother's leg. She pulls it out and stabs like the older, like the long-haired evil brother or whatever.
The last living one, who is no longer after this.
Yeah, so basically, whatever. He... I can't remember. Basically, the whole time this is happening, the house is still melting.
Yeah.
And that floor
Real quick, before you mention this, because I feel like you're gonna, like, bring up something. I want to say that, like, in that fight, if this dude has a knife, like, right here, and he's, like, struggling to pull up, because the killer's on top of him with a knife, and he's, like, about to push it down, and the only way that they win the fight is because she grabs the knife from his leg.
Mm-hmm.
I'd, like, go with that knife that's fucking, like, you're in pain. If that knife is, like, getting ripped out of you, because it was deep in, he couldn't pull it out on his own.
Yeah.
There's no way. I said that the fucking, her pulling the knife out of his leg should have killed her brother, because realistically, that amount of pain, you're not going to be able to still sit there and...
No, it would have been a lot more realistic if maybe when she, like, the moment she pulls it out, he, like, dodges his head or whatever to where the knife stabs in the wall behind him.
Because there's no fucking way you're still able to hold that man up.
No, I thought that. I was like, he would have probably wavered and got stabbed.
I also said oink because he made, like, a fucking pig noise when he died. He like, squealed.
Either Carly or her brother, one of the two, come up with the idea of, like, starting to dig out the wall.
It was Carly because she had noticed that Jared Padalecki found out that the whole house was made out of wax.
Yeah.
So she remembered that and then used that to cut their way out of the burning building. So they do that. And that's that.
Yeah, so basically they kind of just, like, make a hole in the wall and then ride the hole down as the wax melts, and they get out safe and fine or whatever. They get out, and then we kind of, like, almost instantly flash to a scene where it's now daylight, and the police are in the town, and they're bringing out body bags and taking pictures, investigating, whatever, and they basically tell Carly and her brother that the town has been abandoned for like 10 years and it's not even on any maps anymore. It's hard to get to, and the only reason the police were able to get there and the only reason the police were there was because they saw like the smoke and the flames from the house catching on fire. And then I'm trying to remember.
They ride off in the ambulance, honestly, and then fucking it's revealed that the guy who actually brought them into the town in the first place was the third brother.
Yeah.
That's the end of the fucking movie.
Yeah.
I want my life back. This sucks. Okay.
It was a fine movie, whatever.
Okay. Please watch this movie. please tell me what you think in the comments below. I feel like I'm being a huge Debbie Downer.
You really are. I started out great vibes, and then you were just like bringing me down.
I keep infecting you because it. This movie is like what I hate about horror, and I'm really glad we could review it on the podcast for this. I don't like the characters. They don't have personality.
That's not true.
The most personality that they have is the evil brothers and the symbolism there. That's about it.
They have personality. The camcorder dude has
Is
personality
creepy.
of being creepy. Her brother has the personality of being a douchebag. Paris's character and her boyfriend have the personality of being horny as fuck. And Wade has the personality of being stupid and way too curious and invasive in other people's stuff. And then Carly, she's the one with the least personality, in my opinion. But they have personality.
If your personality can be summed up by one word, I don't think it's personality. Compared to like, okay, we did Halloween Kills 2 weeks ago as of when this podcast will air.
Yes.
Laurie Strode. I know that's not a fair comparison. So let's say fucking doctor guy. Doctor guy. Random fucking doctor guy. That dude had more personality than everybody in this fucking movie.
Oh my god,
Say yes.
That is not a fair comparison.
How is that not a fair comparison? It's a background character compared to a main cast.
A background character into a way more popular and like film.
Okay.
And he is too like more of a main character.
Okay, well let's compare
He's
Final
the
Girls.
doctor of Michael Myers. That is like more of a main character.
He's not the doctor of Michael Myers.
I thought that's who you were talking about.
No, I'm talking about the fucking rando ass doctor who's dating the nurse who gets fucking.
Oh.
Not spoiling that movie.
Oh.
He has more personality than everybody in this film.
No. I disagree. But
Whatever. Okay. I hate this movie. If you like it, that's cool. It's a very torn thing. It's got 26 on Rotten Tomatoes. Go ahead and give your score out of 10.
What did I say? 7? 7.5? 8?
You said 8.5.
I said
8.5 for the time it came out, and then 7.5 for now, I think.
Yeah, if like this movie had come out now, it'd be like a 7.5. For the time it came out, 8.5. I liked it. Aaron shitted on it. I really enjoyed it. Whatever. It's fine.
This movie gets a 3 out of 10. It doesn't get a 1 out of 10. It doesn't get a 0 out of 10. It doesn't get a 2 out of 10. It is bordering 2 out of 10. I'm giving it a 3 out of 10 for the effects that were good at the time. I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4 because it has good effects for the time. It is scary. I like Jared Padalecki. Did I say the score?
No, you did not say the score.
The score.
What about the gore?
The effects.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, those 4 things. And I like the house melting. That was cool. That's about it. I can count on one hand how many things I liked about this movie.
Whatever.
Tune in next week.
Hopefully we'll both like the movie next week.
We're not watching a movie next week. We're actually doing Halloween
that's
special.
Right.
So
that's right.
Tune in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 3 days in between this upload and Halloween.
Yeah.
Halloween is a special. Hopefully we'll agree. Even though it's not even going to be anything to disagree on. I think we're just going to be talking about childhood fears or something.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. I'll figure it out. We got a week.
Aaron will be more optimistic.
I'll be happy. I don't know. And like, even though I sat here and I shat on this movie, I did enjoy it in the sense of like, I love shitting on bad movies. And as I could go in, I could nitpick the fuck out of this movie. Because there's a lot to nitpick, but I'm not gonna. Because I don't want to take away from other people's enjoyment. Even though I really hate this movie. This movie offended me.
I liked it. I really liked the movie, but it's
Each
fine.
time.
We're not always going to agree.
True. Alright. Real quick, where can people follow you? But yeah, alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. It was fun to make. I loved the kind of conflict. Alright.
We'll see you in the next one.
Take care.